For the first couple minutes, the trailer for Elden Ring Nightreign is not exactly predictable, but certainly understandable. It's Elden Ring like we've never seen it before, remixed and reassembled, but still unmistakably a return to the lands between. And then, wait, is that the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3? The Nameless King is back for Nightreign and is also one of the most ruthless opponents in Dark Souls 3, and he's a significant figure in the series' lore, having first been detailed in the original Dark Souls and its sequel before finally appearing as an optional boss in the final part of the trilogy. He's known for his imposing dragon mount and ability to channel lightning, both of which are seen in the final minute of Nightreign's trailer. There's no mistaking him. This isn't a tribute, homage, or lookalike. The Nameless King is a foe in the next Elden Ring game. After another rewind and another closer inspection, it is revealed that friendly NPCs from Dark Souls have also arrived in the world of Elden Ring. Because even gameplay mechanics from across the developer's portfolio of work have also found their way into Nightreign. If seeing wasn't believing, the official Dark Souls social media channels have confirmed that elements of the series will appear in Nightreign, albeit in a cryptic manner. In the night, ancestral foes await, remnants of a fire that once burned bright. The two series are definitely being linked, and so now the other familiar creatures begin to make a lot of sense. This grotesque multi-limbed beast whose exposed ribcage is set aflame by the player's explosive bolt will be instantly recognized by long-term fans as the centipede demon from the original Dark Souls, albeit with a significant graphical facelift. Earlier in the trailer, there's a shot of a crawling spider that evokes the arachnid-infested areas of Dark Souls 2, but some of the strongest evidence of Dark Souls 2 involvement can be found in a screenshot released alongside the trailer, which straight up reveals that the Duke's deer Freya, a colossal 8-legged nightmare, will make an appearance in Nightreign. Freya, the centipede demon, and the Night King's inclusion mean that we have a major boss from each Dark Souls game, but there's more evidence to suggest that it's not just the enemies of FromSoft's flagship series that have found their way into Elden Ring. At the trailer's midpoint, we're introduced to a woman who wears an ornate metal mask over her eyes and nose. This is the unmistakable attire of Dark Souls 3's Firekeeper.
Tragedy must be averted.
Now, we have to admit that this character's voice doesn't sound like the exact match to the original character.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one.
But actors aren't always available to come back for old roles, and alongside all the other evidence, it doesn't seem like a stretch to suggest that our old Firelink Shrine companion may be a big part of Nightreign's story.
Ashen One, bring new souls, plucked from their vessels.
Returning friends and foes are the obvious thing to get excited about, but there are similar, potentially more impactful gameplay elements seen in the trailer that also point to something of an overlapping multiverse effect. Rather than allowing you to create your own character, Nightreign asks you to step into the shoes of a predefined hero with their own unique skill set. Of the ones revealed so far, Duchess and Wilder are of the most interest. Duchess's exquisitely tailored outfit brings Bloodborne to mind, while the fan theories that this is an alternate version of Lady Maria aren't convincing enough. Yet we are excited by her quick step ability, which replicates the dodge mechanic from FromSoft's beloved Lovecraftian nightmare. Meanwhile, Wilder has access to a grappling hook that replicates some of the utility of Sekiro's own prosthetic tool. As with anything FromSoft creates, there's a natural urgency to want to know how everything fits into the lore. There's only so much to know at this early stage, but our own interview with the game director at least gives us a starting point for our theories. We'd like fans to think of Nightreign as an Elden Ring spin-off first and foremost. The story is completely separate and parallel to the world of Elden Rings. If you had to tie it in some way, we had the events of the Shattering in the original game. After the events of the Shattering, this is a completely separate branch of the Elden Ring story. So Nightreign is a separate timeline. Post the Shattering, anything could have happened in this version of Elden Ring's history. But no matter what kind of tale is written in this world's own warped history books, the end result is the reign of the Night Lord, this new game's ultimate foe. If you feel like you've heard that name before, it's probably because you've either read plenty of the item descriptions in Elden Ring, or watched Vati Vidya's lore video about the Knox. In the interest of time, here's some cliff notes. The Knox are people you encounter in the underground eternal cities of Nokron and Noxtella, where they, according to in-game descriptions, live under a false night sky in eternal anticipation of their liege, of the coming age of the stars, and their Lord of Night.
Band together and prepare to claim. The life of the Night Lord.
Lord of Night, Night Lord, could it be that Elden Ring Nightreign depicts a timeline in which the Age of Stars has arrived and the Lord of Night has arisen? If so, the Knox are the keepers of the Mimic Tear. Are these things that we see mimics from other things from other worlds? A little more Theorycraft suggests an alternate option. That earlier post on the Dark Souls X feed spoke of remnants of a fire that once burned bright. That seems to be a reference to the first flame, which could be extinguished in the finale of Dark Souls 3. Are the Centipede Demon, Duke's Dear Freya, and the Nameless King remnants of this first flame? We know that the extinguishing of the first flame is just one of multiple endings to Dark Souls 3, endings that all theoretically speaking would produce their own timeline. Could it be that the alternate timeline for Elden Ring, ruled over by the Lord of Night, has merged with the end of fire timeline of Dark Souls? Maybe. Back in 2019, Elden Ring's director Miyazaki said that he was interested in making a battle royale game. 5 years later, we have an Elden Ring multiplayer roguelike that features what appears to be a shrinking circle of death. But who could have guessed that on the day FromSoft announced a game with battle royale elements, the one thing that we're obsessing over is the return of this guy from Dark Souls 3.
I will swat away any and all who dare approach.
Only time will tell if the lore really is so deep and thoroughly plotted, and if this really is the start of a FromSoft multiverse. Or if Nightreign is just From Software letting loose and having a bit of fun. My money's on the latter. Regardless, one thing is clear, you can always count on FromSoft to continuously surprise us.
Stand tall. The night is far from over.
Hey, wasn't that fun? Be sure to check out our preview of Elden Ring Nightreign. And for everything else Souls-like, Elden Ring, and From Software, stick with IGN.